will return, despite my lack of arms and legs. Ooh.
Oh, hey there, Matanui. What are you doing here on Bar Magna? Here to ruin 2009?
Hello everyone and welcome to the Recap Review. Today we're going to be taking a look at every set released in the year of 2008. Now, of course, you are going to see some things over there and some things over there, but we're going to use our imagination, pretend they are not there. You don't see anything from that. You don't see anything from that. Only what's right in front of you. Now that we've entered this world, let's go ahead and get into the facts. 2008 released approximately 29 sets in total. The Mystica Fantoka waves, as well as the large battle vehicles that you see up here, including some Titans and Warrior sets in the back. You may not be able to see everything quite so well. The Rocco is up here. We have both Jetraxes, the Axelara, and yes, Toa Agnika, Icarax, and Mutron and Viken, as well as Mazuka, and Voltrez, and Takanuva, and Clack. They are all back there. And obviously you do see your main Toa, main Makuta, and the main Matoran with them. Now 2008 was a particularly interesting year considering it was fairly controversial. It continued the trend of using a lot of grays and darker colors to replace a lot of the brighter shades of greens and reds and blues, and generally mute the year. A large part of the controversy with the Toa specifically was that they used gray, and heck, even Pohatu replaced brown entirely by using orange. Liwa no longer had matte green, Tahu no longer matte red, so on and so forth. Gali was particularly despised because of her dark Metru blue, primarily silver color scheme, and that awful, awful mask. So a lot of people were quite displeased with the coloration of pretty much all of the characters, with them primarily being darker shades. This was certainly an issue because the characters that returned were the Toa Nuva, and the prior time we saw them, they were bright colors, back in 2002. So it's been a while since we've seen them, and these changes were not exactly well received by many. However, on the flip side, a lot of people really liked some of the other sets. The Makuta, Fantoka, and Mystica were well received. A lot of people really enjoyed those, basically because of their look. They were very animal-based, but they were also really well-designed. Takanuva, kind of a mixed bag. Some people really liked him, some people really did not. Toa Agnika, same way. We did get the Mask of Life this year, which a lot of people were very happy about, considering we saw it first in 2007. So we do have it, although it's only in silver. So the year was generally mixed. One thing everyone can pretty much agree on is that the vehicles, seriously, Rocco's right up here. The vehicles were phenomenal. They were great, they were large, they were so unique. And heck, Axelara won an award in France. So I'd say that speaks volumes to how well the vehicles were received. Overall, there were no real collectibles. This year kind of officially phased them out. No Zamor Spheres, no Ninra Ghost Blaster ammunition, nothing. No masks. This was the final, 2007 was the final year for collectibles. 2008 officially got rid of them. In its place, nothing. It did continue the trend of using blasters quite heavily. Pretty much every character had some form of blaster or shooter, with the Fantoka, Toa having the Midax Sky Blasters, and then the Mystica, Makuta, and Toa having the Ninra Ghost Blasters, and then even some in the Summer Wave still having the Midax Sky Blasters. So overall, the year is generally a mixed bag. Story-wise, a lot happened. 2008 officially capped off the Ignition trilogy, and it also kicked us out of the Matoran universe. Big revelations were found. Matoran turning into Borak, the Toa originally coming from Cardanui and the Cadrex. The vehicles, well, we didn't find anything out about the vehicles, except that they can phase through walls. Found out a lot about the Toa's origins, which had been a huge mystery throughout the entire run of Bionicle. and, well, the Matoran universe being a giant 40 million foot tall robot. That was a pretty big deal. However, we were kicked out and sent to Bar Magna. We'll get to you in a moment. So the Ignika is now traveling through space, only a short distance away, for us to then wallow in misery when it lands on Bar Magna. So that generally covers 2008. I know there's a lot to talk about with this year. However, it can be summed up really easily. Story-wise, incredibly well received. So many cool animations, a lot of cool sets, the vehicles, Takanuva, depending on which side you're on, Icarax, the Makuta, the Mystica, so on and so forth. However, there were a lot of downsides, primarily the coloration of all of the Toa, the fact that they've been relegated down to Inika or Paraka builds, and we don't talk about Gali anymore. She's had better iterations. So that's 2008. That is the year that capped off the Ignition trilogy, and we will talk about that shortly. What do you guys think of 2008? Feel free to let me know either in the comments below or on the TTV message boards at board.ttvpodcast.com. And I do apologize for being on location. I haven't done this in a while, but there are a lot of sets up here, and I only very recently got up the vehicles. And look, they're so nice hanging there. They look so pretty. I don't want to take them down. That, and I don't have the space to actually have them all in one shot, as you can probably tell. So, join me next week when I go over the Ignition trilogy. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all then.